Mr. Leeaux, oh my God. Thank you for breaking in my new setup. This is incredible. And also you're the first live Vegas crypto guest that's going to be on the new series where both of us are very involved in this local scene. And I couldn't think of anybody else better than to have you. I'm going to lay out a list of everything he's involved with, and I'm probably going to butcher some of it, so we'll talk about it. Leeaux has been creating NFTs actually since 2019. He actually worked with Frankie Nines, who is the creator of Subducks. They worked at a gallery called Ninth Gallery. Did I get that right? He is also the founder and team lead at TeamKillEveryone, founder of Project Abracadabra, and was on the local news last month with one of his new projects, DTLV NFT, focusing on the 18B, where we record this and where I live down in the Arts District. I think I got all that right. Leeaux, did I get that right?
You got everything perfect.
Let's go.
Yeah.
First, man, thank you for coming on, man. You're seriously a leader down here and also a pioneer, way ahead of the game from everybody else.
I don't even know what to say. That was like the coolest. Thank you. Yeah, it's been surreal. It's actually so crazy to like hear that. It's like, yeah, working with Frankie Nines of Subducks. It's like, and the Ninth Gallery. That's the throwback for me in a way.
Tell us a little bit about Ninth Street or Ninth Gallery.
So I just like emailed him. So I saw this Instagram account pull up. Like it was like Ninth Gallery. I was like, wow, this looks cool. This little contemporary art gallery in the downtown area. I was like, I want to work here because I was like really hungry. I was like hungry for a gig, and I only wanted to work in a gallery. So I was like, I emailed him. I was like, hey, this is literally everything that I'm doing. What's up? Let's talk. And then I got an email back, and it was from his friend Rick too as well. Rick saw it, and then Frankie was like, okay, let's talk. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm showing up tomorrow. Like, what's up? And then, yeah, it was really cool. We had a plan to, create this awesome contemporary art gallery, get his work shown in great levels. He was very humble, honestly, from the beginning, because like he ended up over the course of being there explaining like his ties in the industry, and I was like, this is crazy. Like you've been busting your ass. Like he really has. Like so it was really cool to like share that space and like soak in all that knowledge from him, being around. And yeah, it was really dope. So we had it like cracking for a little bit, and then COVID-19 happened.
And it seemed to be better for all of us, right? At the time was very tough. I wasn't even a podcaster until after the pandemic. What was the vibe around NFTs back in 2019 down at Ninth Gallery?
So really, like he was mentioning that he was working with Dapper Labs. So there was Dapper Labs, and then I remember walking in and seeing a crypto kaiju like vinyl doll like on the countertop, and it was like near the end of 2019 actually, where I met up with Frankie. So it was like late November, and then we kind of like was like, okay, let's do this in December, and decided, he was like, yo, we're gonna get Alex Pardee to be part of the first show, etc. And I was like, dope, like, okay, like I've heard that name around, And then he actually, so when I mentioned that I was on Maker's Place, he was surprised. He was like, wait, you know about NFTs? I was like, yeah. I'm like, I have a Maker's Place account. I was a beta 2018. He was like, that's crazy. That's dope. So like, even then it became even more tight. And then, so it was like February, like January, February.
Right before the pandemic.
Right before, we were goofing off on crypto voxels and just goofing off in the gallery. And then that was the state of NFTs for me. It was just like, I was, at one point, at Async Art. So one of the co-founders of Async Art was visiting, and they made like their first record-breaking sale like right there in the studio. While we were just hanging out. He was like, whoa, like we just made this. I forgot how much it was. It was a lot. It was a lot. I was like, wow, what? That's crazy. Cause like like the sauce wasn't dripping on me yet. And so I was like, that's cool. Like I want to know like what's up. Like this is dope. Like I have a maker's place. So like what can I do? But yeah. It was
So contemporary art is what led you to the gallery and Frankie Nines, and then you both bonded over NFTs, even though he wasn't aware that you were in NFTs. So this then leads me to the question is, what led you to NFTs?
So, this is so great. This is such a good question. Okay, so in 2014, there was a site called Elo, and Todd Berger and Lucian Fair created this platform. It was supposed to be it's a site that's like meant for like no algorithms. They don't sell your data. It was meant to be a platform built by creators, meant for creators, for them to like really, have their work appreciated instead of being in the noise of the social media and all that other stuff. And so I was just rocking that site since 2014, just rocking it. And so let's see, this is so crazy. So it ended up happening like around 2018, September. I got an email from Ryoma, the founder. He said, I saw your work on Elo and I wanted to invite you to our platform Maker's Place. And then in this email, he's describing what crypto art is in 2018. And I'm like, at the time I was like, this is interesting. I was like, okay, I don't really get it, but I'm down. Like I want to be hip. I want to be hot. I want to be
Were you aware? Were you in crypto at all before this?
No, I wasn't. My friend, I had a colleague, John, he was like, I could remember it to this day. Like he's hitting his vape pen. He's like, do you know about Ethereum? I was like, and this is 2017. I was like, no, I don't know about Ethereum. What is that? I was like, and I like rolling my eyes because he's like, it's like Bitcoin. I'm like, oh yeah, Bitcoin. And I'm like rolling my eyes. I was like, oh shit. Biggest regret, many regrets, but it's okay. Moving on. But yeah, so I was very lightly familiar with it because John actually made our site, TeamKillEveryone, accept crypto payments. And at the time, I didn't understand it. So I was just like, this is weird. I don't get it. I don't like it. Take it off. And so back then, our site was actually like able to take payments. And like, I didn't really understand the concept of it. And then like, I took it off. And then I was just like, and then so, later on, I was like, whatever. But then, so Ryoma though, him emailing me in 2018 was crazy. Cause I was just looking at this email, like not even a week ago. I was just looking at this email to show my friend. I was like, yo, I'm gonna mint this as an NFT, pull some Robinus, Max Osiris type of vibe right now, and just like say, look, this is my invite to Maker's Place, like, and I just like will doodle on it and then like mint that as my like second NFT of the year. But it was really interesting to be like in the know. So like not Maker's Place, Elo though was so on the cusp of like what was next. Like the guys who created it are they might not think of themselves as geniuses, but I'm like, yo, you guys are really, really smart. Like y'all are, I look up to you guys. So it was really cool. And it was actually really cool to see JOYWORLD on this site as well back in the day. So like 2017, 2018, I'm seeing JOYWORLD pop up on their site. They're doing like augmented reality. Like campaigns, just like, it's just like, artists who created digital looking, it was just like it was a cool Elo, what they did was they partnered with people to create dope opportunity for artists. And so like that rubbed off on me because that's like what I want to do to this day. And actually today is kind of cool because one of the artists that we represent got accepted to this new NFT marketplace called Orca. It's on the Binance. Am I saying it right? Binance. So yeah, the Binance chain, and he got accepted, which was kind of cool because they invited me, but like I pushed him and he got picked. So I was like, that's good.
You're paying it forward.
Yeah,
just like in 2018, how you got into it.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
When you're minting NFTs back in 2018, 19 on Maker's Place, was the site buggy at all?
It was so buggy. It was.
And
so
how did you go
buggy.
about minting? I'm assuming
it was actually all for free. Like I literally just was like, okay, upload. Like I want this. Okay, click, done. I was like, cool. I'm adding these pieces. Cool. Add it. Like 'cause I didn't have any like crypto at the time, but I was just uploading, and they were like covering the cost of it, which was sick. And I didn't like. Now it's just like what like.
yeah. So that's the early version of what's known as like a shared contract, essentially. Do you still have the art on Maker's Place?
Yeah, I do. I still have the very early art there. Still, I still have my 2019 babies just chilling there. I'm stoked on them.
How many pieces did you mint before the first one sold?
So I had an Inktober series that I was doing. I minted all 31 days of October Inktober series, and then I think I just started like putting like some random illustrations out, but it was a while. I did this one thing that had like it was called Chimps with Tools. It was like Chimps with Tools, I think. Memory's kind of shot, but it's okay. These apes had like guns, and like they were just like chilling with AKs, and then like that one sold, and I was like, what? Like that was crazy. It had like editions of 3, so like I think I had an edition of 3, so like once one of them sold, and like more of them kept selling, I was like, this is dope. Like
And ever since then, from our conversation we had, you've lived primarily just off of your NFT sales since then.
Since then, yeah, and even since 2014, I've just only survived on my art. Like I feel like I need to find a job. Like I don't even know how to do that. Like it's fucked up. I mean, can I curse? I don't want to curse. Okay, well, oops. All right. I like trying to like I'm like literally trying to get a job in a way. Like I want to be on a serious position. Like I want like something that's actual factual. That's like salary. That's like like not nothing. No grunt chain. No grunt whatever.
And
work,
what type of profession?
So like you could literally take cultural affairs from me and just put it in anything. Like just just be like, okay, you guys are a new brand and you want to be relevant. Okay, boom, hire me as cultural affairs. Like something like that. Art director, art curator, cultural affairs, whatever. If I can put this network to use, then like that's like I want more off of what I have. Like I want to be able to rake in more based on what I know. And it's like and so like when I look, it's like I don't know.
How would you describe the mentality of the everyday artist who's been living off of their work for the last 7 years?
The mentality, I would say it's pragmatic. Like I would have to I would have to everything would have to make sense in like what I want to do, and it has to go towards the goal of, you know, making sure you don't die in the streets with no money. So everything would kind of count, and so time is of the essence in a sense, and it's like it's like solopreneur. I just saw that word. That word just appeared.
It's become more popular recently.
It just appeared. I was like, what? Solopreneur? Okay. Just threw that on my thing. And I was like, okay.
Were there ever times along the journey where you thought it was all over?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right now. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, plenty of times actually. And like those were intense. Like I was like, yo, this isn't working. And then it's like, then I'm fine. I'm just being dramatic. But like also, yeah.
So going through, you're an OG in the space. You've even mentioned some OGs, Frankie, Max Osiris, and Rob. Was there anybody that inspired you, one specific OG crypto artist that you look up to, or maybe has some sort of influence on your style or artistic expression?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. JOYWORLD has been. Did you hear the echo?
Yeah.
JOYWORLD has been a big influence because he's done it all himself. It seems, to my knowledge, it's like he has just buckled down back in the day and just decided to like, yo, I'm doing this. Like I'm making art. I'm making my own marketplace. Like he sees his collection as a marketplace, which is really cool. But like, yeah, he kind of inspires me like from the beginning because like he was one of the first 3D artists too, I've learned, to be on the blockchain. And he was doing it right. He wasn't like ghost minting or anything on like a OpenSea shared contract or anything like that. Like he was doing it right. And he was using, I think he was using the tools, I may be wrong, of Infinite NFT, which then went on to becoming, I believe, Nameless. And so they kind of like, if you go to the Nameless page, you'll see that there's like, oh, artists who use our resources, our tools, JOYWORLD, Gary Vee, et cetera, Snoop Dogg, et cetera, the whole pocket of people. And I'm like, that's inspirational. But you know what else is crazy and cool? Guess what? So Burger and Fair, and okay, so wait, Burger and Fair, the design team, they actually started working on JOYWORLD's. They started collabing together to help JOYWORLD build out his new website, and it's so cool.
Is that the one that you presented at the NFT meetup? That's like a bunch of smiley faces and yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very sleek. It seems like with artists, those who create one-of-ones or limited open editions, it's all about like simplicity and natural flow. You don't see too much like chaos within their UXs on their websites or even in their art.
Yeah, you know, I think that's really cool to point out because I kind of wanted the same approach. So like I kind of did like vibe off of JOYWORLD, but I wanted to be Leeaux. Like I don't want to be like completely biting his style.
And so who is Leeaux? What is the art of Leeaux? How do you describe it?
I would say it's kind of surreal with like embedded magic undertone of like a variety of religion, a variety of dogmas, a variety of see, I feel like I'm able to blend my styles. I have this, you know, gritty, natural feeling to my pieces, and then I can like I translate that into like what would be like a punk kind of MTV, like Mike Judge kind of inspiration, because those are like, well, that's what I grew up on, you know, King of the Hill, like cartoons. Like I'm a big cartoon person. Like I'm wearing this Disney thing because I was like, I want Disney to put me on, you know. Hopefully Disney sees this and puts me on. You know, have an OG, get me as your cultural affairs and NFTs. I saw the job offer. I don't know how to apply, so this is a video application right now. No, I'm just kidding.
So you'd say cartoons is the largest influence behind your artwork. Oh, you mentioned that it goes all the way back to 2014.
Oh yeah, even before then too. I would say honestly, the drive for me comes from MySpace. Because in MySpace, you got to see people that like had nothing.
I
like
loved MySpace.
Become everything. Like all the bands that were on MySpace back then that were popping, that went on tour, they blew up and they're big as hell now. Like Devil Wears Prada, Chiodos, Seosin, Cute Is What We Aim For, or whatever. You know, all these random bands they like back in the day.
MySpace inspired all of the developers and creators. We were all mini developers with putting like the marquees and all of the font changes and bolding the words.
I was obsessed with it. So that's like really where my like, that was me as a kid, bro. Like on my freaking computer, like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So there was this guy named Paul Griffiths who created this clothing brand called Baby Cakes. And like he started his clothing brand like in his mom's, like in his house, like, you know, living with his parents. And then like he blew up over MySpace. I watched it all happen. I was like, dude, what? Like this is just t-shirts. Like I want to do that.
I loved that you could put a song on your profile. I have this thesis and hypothesis that eventually Twitter is going to integrate music NFTs into the PFP, because you know how now it's a hexagon and it's verified. Eventually things like Warp Sound, which I think is the most interesting one that I've seen so far, where it's like a PFP with a sound file attached to it. Eventually they're going to verify it, where Twitter profiles are going to have songs. That's my own speculation. Don't shoot the messenger. But if they bring it back, it's gonna just flow with MySpace nostalgia.
If that happens, I can see that. I could feel it. Yeah, if that happens, I can feel it. MySpace was everything.
Are there any, I guess we'll call it non-fungible mediums outside of one-of-one art that interest you?
Repeat that question.
Are there any non-fungible mediums? So, example, have you looked into anything like wearables or NFT music or metaverse land or anything that you'd like to extend your creativity into?
So I got a VR headset, and I guess I couldn't run the program that I wanted to run, so I just was like, all right, let my colleague, borrow it because I couldn't run the program. Like I literally only bought it to do Adobe Medium to make 3D things, and like I couldn't run it. So I was like, I'm gonna wait for the software to like get better to do it. But other than that, no, not really. I'm just art.
Well, you do have your hands full with a multitude of endeavors that I mentioned in the beginning. So this is probably a good time to dive into the first one, which is a little bit on a larger scale of TeamKillEveryone.
Oh man.
Tell us a little bit about it.
The story of TeamKillEveryone. Well, that's insane because I was in a band and I was like 18, 19, 20, whatever.
Some years ago,
we were in a band, and we were called They Rise Like Giants. And so like I was making all of our promos and stuff. So I was like, wanted to have a little catchy thing. So I was like, Team Kill TRLG. So They Rise Like Giants. So Team Kill, They Rise Like Giants. And then later I was just like, fuck it, Team Kill Everyone. Like kill your ego. This is done. We're done. And then and so in 2013, I ended up getting a website together for it. It was like shoddy, like on Wix. I think it was on Wix. Yeah, I think it was on Wix, and it was like throwback, but like it was cool. It actually really sketched me out. It threw like get the landing page. It was really dope. Like it was like it basically emitted dark energy magic. Like it was like this like crazy like. I wanted it to be a portal on the internet for people to be like, what's going on here? Like I really just typed this in and hit .com and then like I'm on a site.
So you want to encourage that mystique, but also it's kind of clouded with confusion. So they have to dive a little bit deeper into it.
Yes. You got to dig down this rabbit hole. It was kind of interesting. I got a weird email from someone that like was the name. They went by Aleister Crowley. And at the time, I was like, I didn't even know who Aleister Crowley was. I was like, this is cool. Because it was a video. It was all like, this was when Tyler, the Creator, was out. So everything was all like 666. Like, So like he sent me this video and I was like, I feel brainwashed. Cool. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on the site. I was going to put it on the site. It was like a music submission. I was like, cool. This is what we want. We want people to send us stuff. Like we want stuff to be sent to us so we can share it. And so I put it on there, and then later on, I just like got real paranoid, and then like just disappeared. And then I came back after overcoming my paranoia. Like I had to beat it myself, and because I was like overthinking about it. But really, what it is supposed to just be an outlet to post like how I feel, because like whenever I call it post anxiety, not like past tense anxiety, but like posting online anxiety. So like when you post something and you're like, fuck, is someone gonna be like, or like,
and if there's no engagement within a few minutes, you're like, do I delete it?
Like, like all that shit, all of that. Like I wanted to dead that with TeamKillEveryone because I just wanted to be like, yo, I do what I want, I post what I want, I say what I want, I write what I want. And also it's supposed to be an outlet for others. So like we do what we want, we say what we want, we write what we want. It's like we want it to be unfiltered creativity, because how can you be creative if you're given like all kinds of like guidelines and
so it's a platform
boundaries.
It's a platform that helps eliminate social pressures or surrounding the art.
Yeah, a lot of people hit me up and they say they hit me up and they say they appreciate what we're doing because that's kind of the ethos. It's like the undertone is like kill your ego. This is like this is all of it. This is art. This is freedom. This is like being able to say and do what you want. And you gotta, and like a part of me feels so cool because like it was created so long ago. If people were to be like, oh, what is like, you can't say that now. You know, every time there's like a crazy war or some bullshit going on, like, you know, I feel always weird to post about it, but I'm like, dude, we're grandfathered in. We're 10-yeared in because it's 11 years old. So like, I'm like, I'm sorry, but this is our brand. GitHub actually is just GitHub. It's actually like, they're like, you can't put this URL here. I was like, what do you mean? I'm a beginning developer. They like, there's not enough activity. They're like, there's not enough activity. You can't use this URL. It's promotional. I was just like, I'm literally just starting on your platform and you have a URL option. So I put the URL of where we're going to be putting all this code in your thing, and y'all are telling me I can't use it. Wild. So
there's so many GitHub repositories that haven't had entries in months or years.
Oh, it's really like that?
I come across those all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
They're just
like strict on it. It's like super strict.
So how many artists on estimate would you say has been a part of Team Kill Everyone or posted on the platform?
So some of them, not too many posts on it. I kind of just like get everyone's info and write about them and promote them myself. But the interaction is actually really dope. So I would say, I mean, let's see.
Okay, so how many artists would you say you've written about over the course of, you said 11 years?
Yeah, I would say maybe about like, I want to give a real, I've kind of thought about this. I need to really figure that out.
Would you say it's triple digits?
No, I wouldn't say triple digits. I would say probably about to be triple digits, essentially. From like, I just get. So if we were to include the Elo posting, because at a time for Elo, I was like emailing their marketing team saying like, yo, I want to be like a part of what's going on. And then I became really close with the marketing director, and over the years I became close with like the developers. But like they made our account like a featured account to where everyone we posted about and like reshared became a featured account, or like it would show up at the top of the feed. So everyone we posted would show up on the top of the feed, and then they would take who we posted and then like verify them on Elo, so that way what they post next would be at the top of the feed. So we were taste making basically for what was going to be popping. And it's really cool because over time, people that we shared, they just like blew up. They just like got known. I was like, this is cool.
It's essentially like a feeder system for credibility for some of these artists. It's very similar to how verified checkmarks work for Twitter and Instagram. For those that don't know, from the influencer marketing founders that I've talked with before, it's about 7 or 8 articles that you need in order to get the check mark itself, for them to even consider it. And it has to come from, for crypto, it has to come from non-crypto publications. So they're generally looking for things like CNBC, Forbes, People, all the like very traditional media companies.
Is there a time limit in between those postings?
I'm unsure. I don't think so. It may affect the application. Again, it's a centralized system, so it's a person on the other side and not code. So you're kind of still at the discretion of whatever they decide.
Okay. Well, one day I'll be verified. One day I'll make enough noise. One day we'll just be loud enough.
I'm gonna be honest. Twitter is turning into, or it's being dominated by crypto users. I've watched so many of these accounts scale from literally 500 followers to like hundreds of thousands in a year or two.
Yeah.
Crypto is like big Twitter. It's literally going to run it over the next 4 or 5 years, if not already dominating it. I would say right now, Twitter is mostly news, kind of run by like mainstream news. There's thought leaders, and then you have like sports Twitter is pretty big, but crypto Twitter and NFT Twitter is right behind.
It's insane. And you know what drives me? You know what grinds in my gears? It's like the verified accounts that were verified like before the NFT like thing happening, and then all of a sudden they wake up and they're like, yo, I'm a fucking genius.
Yeah.
And then they like scam everyone into like being part of their thing.
We're seeing that being manipulated. I've been messaged actually a few times by individuals saying that they're selling verified accounts for, it was pretty cheap, like $7,000.
What the fuck do you mean?
So a lot of these accounts now, the bots where you see where they like every single one of your posts, and then you go to their profile and it says like 21 YouTuber, gamer, whatever, and then you go through their feed and it's like, just got 50 ETH, what floor do I sweep? Or it's like giveaway retweets. I just block all of them immediately.
Yeah. Those are all terrible. They scare me. It's so insane how like that is a thing, and then people like they're shilling projects 24/7, like giveaways 24. It's honestly it's a nightmare to see. Like early, like I posted earlier, I was like, I missed 2019 crypto art because like there wasn't any of that. There wasn't any of that.
How would you describe 2019 crypto,
Dude,
or NFT Twitter, I guess?
NFT Twitter 2019. It was basically we were all in the same room, but we all didn't really like know each other. It was just like, oh, like, hey, I'm here. But like you had to follow like Ethereum, you had to follow blockchain and like these people who were like developing these projects. I'm saying what I did. So I followed these accounts and I like followed all these accounts super early so that way I could educate myself on what was going on to like see what was happening in the space. And like there were a few people like off the top of my head I remember Kami-sama, he was a homie of mine. Spaced Painter, I saw him a lot. Hackatao, saw them a lot.
Was it Hackatao that owns one of your art pieces? Or no, somebody big, I thought, that owns one of your art pieces. We talked about before.
Maybe Whale Shark.
Whale Shark, yeah, that's who it was.
Whale Shark. Oh my God! Because of that, actually, my art's gonna be in Portugal in April. That's
congrats!
Yeah,
no, why? What's the event?
So there's a non-fungible conference happening in Portugal, and one of my pieces was picked. It was actually a collab with an artist that goes by the name of Shrimp Nose. So he has the beat, and I had the art, and I kind of animated my art a little bit, and I put the beat to it. And Shrimp Nose is actually doing super. He just got verified on Instagram, and he like I don't know if he finished his collab with Flying Lotus, but like there was some Flying Lotus like talk in there, you know. So I was like, oh, good for you, bro. And but yeah, it's like April 4th and 5th. It's with Maker's Place. So Maker's Place is curating this Maker's Place Infinite Objects like gallery thing, and I was like, whenever Aisha messaged me, I was like, absolutely yes. And then she said that they were gonna try to do an interview, likely pending maybe, of early NFT artists that were around like in around 2018, 2019, or et cetera, for people that like.
There's only a handful. There's only a handful of you guys that come across.
Dude, I remember seeing Known Origin, and there was like 1,300 people on there. So like at the time that I got accepted into Known Origin, there was like 1,300, 1,400.
And
so.
Known Origin was before. Was it before OpenSea or is it around the same time?
OpenSea, I think OpenSea was the OG. Like OpenSea was the first one, I believe, of the NFT marketplaces.
But Known Origin is focused only on art, correct?
Known Origin is heavy on art. Yeah, they're heavy on art. Known Origin was cool. Known Origin still is cool. I like Known Origin.
Have you moved over to any of these other artist-focused platforms like Foundation or Rarible?
Well, I still have a Rarible account. Foundation, I like have NFTs there that are technically collecting dust, but I mean, come on, whatever. It's infinite. Let's just let them sit there. I don't care. One day I'll get hit by a truck, and then someone's gonna want to get them.
They'll be historical at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking that because I remember people burning their art back in the day that didn't sell. I was like, yo, you should have never done that. Mm-hmm. They're like.
Most crypto tokens, even fungible tokens and shitcoins from 2015 and around that time, still end up pumping at some point. None of them ever die forever. There's always something that cycles them back, some sort of narrative that pops up. And we know the attention span of crypto Twitter is very short.
Yeah.
And the news cycles within hours or within like minutes at some point. So there's so much stuff that happens. It's impossible to know. For example, obviously I'm a big Mooncat investor. Some people let that sit in their wallet for 4 years collecting dust. And now they're worth literally thousands of dollars. That's just goes to show that you really never know what can happen.
Yeah, you really don't. It's like I'm hoping that somehow some fancy pants in Portugal is gonna see my piece and be like, oh look, I'm gonna collect more of this guy's pieces and like scan my QR code, because like that's happening. Like you know what? One Zora is dope.
What is Zora?
Zora is an NFT marketplace. They actually like give you a few like tools. I think it's they give you it's like the Zora protocol to where you could like mint your own, like you can make a smart contract with Zora and then like deploy your NFTs with them, and it'll show up on like other platforms and stuff. Like I don't know if it shows up on LooksRare. It might show up on LooksRare. Might be wrong. It shows up on like Rarible, I think. But also I'm saving Zora in my pocket for when I like am super engaged with like the Zora community projects. Like I feel like as an artist, like it's kind of I personally think it's okay to have a piece here or there or there or there or there. Like whatever. Like if you like marketplace specific art. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's okay, because that's like as an artist, like that's like me putting my art along Main Street in different spots, you know?
What's your opinion on shared contracts versus fully controlled contracts? And we kind of touched this on a little bit. Back then, the tools and information surrounding deploying your own contract were very limited. So I'm assuming the majority of people probably had some sort of lazy mint, free mint, whatever you want to call it. But now it's progressed to where we're starting to see things like Manifold and Nameless help with these self-deployment contracts. And it wasn't like that before. Although most people that I know end up working with an independent dev or freelance dev to help deploy their contract and go through the process and learn there. Do you still mint through shared contracts? Have you migrated to your own contract? And just talk a little bit about the progression that you've seen over the few years.
So yeah, it was a majority share contracts. I saw just everyone minting on Maker's Place, Known Origin, I guess Super Rare, because you're minting on their contract. But you know, there's creator tools that's kind of helping with people, like helping translate what that looks like to be able to feel comfortable enough to try it yourself. And so recently I just used the Manifold creator contract to make something, and I only made one, and I'm probably like I love it. I'm so in control with how and where my art goes. It's a dope feeling. So like share contracts, like I don't necessarily mind creating your own and like building your own, like, you know, that's preferred, I feel. So like I would prefer to do that. So now that I'm educating myself more on all the heavy back end for the code, we're back in MySpace now, you know?
Yeah.
Like we're back in MySpace, like working on, you know, our product and what we want to be seen. I literally just shut myself off for a year, or like basically half a year to decide on like how, what, where, when my art. Because like I want my shit I want to be Beyonce. Like I want it to be like, you know, I don't want to be like complete control over like how, where, when my art's seen, where I'm at, what I'm doing, everything to the T. Because like for people that want to like collect my art, or like create value around it, or create community around my art, like I'm not stopping. Like I don't plan on it. Like I don't plan on like unless like my arms get cut off, then like I don't know, like I'll use my feet to make art. I'll watercolor with my feet. But yeah, like it's cool to kind of have that control.
Yeah, it is cool to see the tools being created as well. I have seen some investors say that they solely now only purchased art that's from an individual's contract and not a shared contract. We did recently see OpenSea with shared contracts starting to censor people's art that had, I believe, Iranian and Russian IP addresses. They just started deleting OpenSea shared storefront contracts, which is terrifying from an artist's perspective.
Excuse me?
This was happening a few weeks ago when the escalation between Russia and Ukraine was just starting.
I thought that was a glitch.
They claim. I don't know. Some of them never came back. They never came back. So to each their own.
Mm-hmm. So do you think having your own, like deploying your own smart contract, being completely in control over that is just you wouldn't be shut down from any of those people, right?
I think that's why Manifold's in such a race to get this product off the ground and to have all of the features, because that's going to be the standard model. It kind of goes with the idea of a decentralized world where you own your own data, you own your own self-sovereignty, and everything that's kind of intertwined in that. I'm excited to see. I don't know I have no technical knowledge. I can understand concepts and I could read very basic code online, but when it comes down to actually like writing it, I'm lost. I just try to trust the experts on it.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm so inspired by like making things in general, being a creator, that like understanding the code aspect of it, like that's where I'm at right now. Like I put stickers on my laptop. It's serious. Like I added stickers on my laptop. Like that means it's getting real. But I really wanted to, and I wiped my computer as soon as my friend told me that I could like build like my site from scratch and then push it through my control panel and also like integrate it with like GitHub and other shit like that. I was like, wait, so that's how you do it? He was like, yeah, that's Dwight. I don't know if you know Dwight.
Does he live in Vegas?
Yeah, he's in Vegas. He's cool. He's a wholesome person. He's great.
I'll probably have to chat with some of these.
You have to.
People.
Him, Sam, like we're chilling in Fremont 9, holding it down. It was lit. Yeah, you have to talk to Dwight. Dwight will let you know what's up. He's an early boy.
That's why I have this new section and feature within my apartment within the Vegas crypto creator economy. Yeah. It's booming. Hardcore.
It is. I'm stoked.
Yeah. So before we talk about the DTLV NFT, there's one more important thing we need to talk about, which is Project Abracadabra, which is something that you founded. So enlighten us of what Project Abracadabra is.
So this segues perfectly because so that summer, like last summer, where I was just like shutting down, like I want to figure out where, when, how, what, I'm doing with my work and stuff like that. I saw all my friends making cool like PFP projects and like an artist that I supported super early. Like they started doing their own PFP projects and like all these other things, and they just blew up. I'm like, what? Like this is insane. Y'all are basically like y'all, you did it. You're done. You did it. I was inspired, so I was like, I want to do something like that. But then I was just like, I don't want to like, say, hey, here's this PFP project, or like I didn't want to make something that was kind of similar to that, because since a little kid, like if someone goes right, I'm gonna go left. Like I'm gonna do everything in my power to not do what someone else is doing. Like I will stop what I'm doing, and then, but to some degree, there's levels to it. Anyway, I wanted to do something that was kind of geared more towards building a community, building like an authentic community, and also having a I guess like a utility, but really just like it's meant to put emerging artists like where they kind of need to be in a sense. Because like prior to all this crypto stuff, like I was like, I ran art collectives, I did art exhibitions, I like hosted. Since like 18, I've just been in promoting artists since I was like 18 basically, and Like, Project Abracadabra came about because I just was in ENS domains and said, let me see if Abracadabra's taken. I'm all witchy. Let's see. I'm all magical. And then like it was there. I was like, oh, I was like, bye. I couldn't hit like collect sooner. And then, cause I was like, Abracadabra, dope. This will sell for a lot later. But then I was like, you know what? I don't want to just flip it. I want to use it. I want to make it something. And then so, I was like, this is going to be a curatorial gallery project. So what I wanted to do is use my network to just like promote and champion other creators and like build like a authentic, like just, it's an authentic, it's like the network of
It sounds like it's an extension of TeamKillEveryone, but turned it's a little bit more specialized for a platform, a little bit more focused.
We want it to be a real world gallery. Like we want you to be able to physically walk into our space and to see art hanging, because that's like my background is just like in the art world, hanging art, looking at art. Like that's and where my art goes. So it's like I know what helps my art. So like I know where and what I can do that will actually help my art. So like I'm taking that and I'm doing that for other people. So it's like I want to be able to put their art somewhere or be seen by something or someone to where it actually helps them do what they want to do or get done, or have it like to be. So instead of having your art thrown into the static and noise of what's going on today, like what Abracadabra is a more controlled like ecosystem, a curated, like people are like, no curating, we don't want to curate, that's centralized. I'm like, no way, because if you don't, like, I mean, yes and no, okay, but like no way, because like if you let all this slide, then you're not gonna really be able to identify value of like an art piece that should be praised. Like there should be articles written about all the cool shit that we've been doing as artists since we just started, you know?
And what's the process for identifying a piece of artwork that you believe needs to have more attention or more eyeballs on it?
So my friend Emmett, Iceberg Slick, said it the best. It's beautiful and strange, I believe. Beautiful, strange. It's beautiful. It's nice to look at, but it's strange. It's like, what, like, you know, and also like, you can tell. It's like for me, it's like, I feel like it's different because like I feel like reading into pieces. I like look into pieces. I like look at art. I really love art. So I see a lot of it. And so I saw like what was like, you know, what's being featured in Juxtapoz magazine, what's being featured in like High Fructose and all these things like that. Like that was like my realm, and like Elo, like being exposed to, like it was to this day artists still post on that site. So like, and they care about their craft, they care about what they put out. So what their output is usually beautiful and strange. It's captivating.
The subjective nature of art, to me, makes it very hard to invest in. I mostly hang out in the collectible space because that makes a little bit more sense to me. But art, it can be viewed in so many different directions. It's very ambiguous, right? Some people like dark versus light. Some people like weird versus abstract versus, I guess, refined. Like there's so many different ways to present it and to view it. It deters me from investing in it. Although I see so many people online talking about, you have to buy one of one art. You have to buy one of one art. But now there's and maybe you could talk a little bit more about this. In the traditional world, when individuals were purchasing art, it was from a collector standpoint where they would very rarely sell afterwards. They would just sit at home in a museum or something like this. Maybe once every 5 to 10 years it trades hands. But now art with NFTs is more of an investment. It seems like that's how many people portray it. Have you seen the perspectives change from running a traditional art gallery to now helping individuals identify art pieces and then sell them on different marketplaces?
I think because that they're able to like keep royalties for that artist, that there's like this, yeah, it'll be sick if it resells kind of feeling, you know? So like if a collector buys something and like it's diamond handing it for like a year and a half or so, and then someone else that wants to just really buy it, like they accept it, then I guess that royalty will go down to that artist. But then there's also a case where like there's not royalties embedded in that, and then it's kind of back to the traditional art world vibe to where like the artist doesn't really profit off of a resale. But yeah, I don't know. But to me though, that there's factions of just like collectives and groups that want to highlight certain themes of art, which I think people should kind of pay attention to. For us, we want to be surrealism, magic, like weird, bohemian, just weird, just like. Have you seen this guy die with the most likes?
No.
Oh my god.
Not familiar.
Oh my god. This guy died. Okay, so comes out of nowhere, die with the most likes. He's an illustrator. His pieces are just like the most botched, gruesome looking, weird. Like they'll have like a old person like snorting like lottery scratch offs, and then he's on super rare, and it'll sell for like 14K. Like, and then he just recently had a sale like today of a piece. It was probably like 3.5 Ethereum that his piece just went for, but it was on super rare. But it's the most strange, creepy, grotesque thing that you would never want your parents to look at, or you wouldn't even want it to be. But it's so amazing though. It's like it's so, and then the way that he just like writes about like legalized beef, like what? So like that is, it's like, what is that? So like I was like, dude, you're gonna go somewhere. I can tell, I can feel it, and like I can feel it. I'm so happy to be like sharing his stuff super early, like promoting him super early. I was just like, this guy's got something.
Do you believe in a multi NFT marketplace ecosystem where every marketplace has its own specific niche, kind of how you were just describing? Do you think that's the inevitable future?
I think that is the inevitable future. Yeah, I think that's a better future too, because it helps to like compartmentalize and categorize all of this like overflow of art that's just like everyone's an artist now because they want to be rich overnight with NFTs. So everyone's an artist now. Like I feel that, you know, curators and like Super Rare started doing Black Rare, where they started curating a lot of Black creators, which is like a very specific niche, which is like incredible because like Super Rare is being so exclusive, you know, it's like hard to get on the site. People apply and they apply and don't get on, but they have curators come in who are part of the community, like vetting others into it, which is, I feel like that's the future. Like I was really pushing for Known Origin to like do that for us for Abracadabra, because that's what I want. Like I want Abracadabra. So with Abracadabra, I want strategic partnerships. Like I want to partner with, like in the pie in the sky world that I have in my head, I want us to partner with like Known Origin and then help artists get onto the platform because we vetted them in, you know. But there was an issue with Providence or something like that, where if we were to mint their art as a collab with them, then it would just like
Takes away the value.
And yeah, in a way it does, but also like in a way I don't see it actually taking away the value though, because like if I were partnered up with a gallery, so like an example, so if Super Chief Gallery, who's now like becoming prominent in the NFT space, made their own, if they were partnered with Maker's Place, or Gross Magazine partnered with Maker's Place recently, and if I were an artist or if I were that platform, I would say, yeah, whoever you're working with, bring them in because it's time now. Like we get it, we get what's going on. There's no reason to have people like wait all day to be part of something, especially if that platform is like partnering with like like again, like Gross Mag. I just saw that recently. Gross Mag, I discovered Gross Mag on Elo, so a long time ago.
Hold on though. You don't think though this vetting and vouching process with these emerging walled gardens of specific curation is bad for the industry? It's kind of like goes against a little bit of this decentralized world that we're pushing.
Well, no, because it's art. So I'm thinking in the art sense of artists who just want to be artists, to be a part of a platform, to have their art seen so like for them to have a easier access point is good for them. And also later on, say a collector wants to invest in them, and then like, oh, sick, and then they're like, oh, cool, I get what's going on, and they like make the next best thing to help the ecosystem. Like it's like a snowball effect. So I think that it actually does help. Like,
so NFT or artist specific NFT marketplaces are more so curating attention than they are trying to monetize the dollars off of the back of the artist.
They want to bring, to me, it seems like they would prefer to bring in people who are like verified or have already ran their course in the prior world of what they were building, I guess. Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, there's a sea of people. There's billions of people on this planet. I mean, how many people are on this planet? Do you know?
7 billion. I think a little bit more than that.
That's crazy.
Maybe approaching 8. Could be wrong, but I think it's around that number.
Imagine if everyone wanted to be an artist at once.
And everyone has some sort of artistic ability inside of them. You just really have to discover what it is.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was artistic at all. I found that my form of creativity is more from like intellectual expression, creating startups, being a visionary, networking. Conversation is a form of art, which I didn't think about until I started a podcast. And I was like, oh, this is definitely a form of art. Having to be able to curate, exactly to your point, curate the conversation in the direction that you want while making people comfortable and all these other nuances that are particular to a conversation.
That's art. That's like the blue chip art right there. That's dope. Yeah, I agree. We are all creative. And that's like, and then back to Abracadabra. That's the magic of it all. So like, I really
there's the zinger.
I really enjoy the magic of the human nature and like how just coincidentally things happen, and it's just like, well, how'd that happen? I'm like, oh, what was that?
And tying all of this together within your journey over the last 4.5, or even going back even farther for Project Kill Everyone, 11 years back. Landed you in Vegas, worked with Frankie Nines, and now one of your new side projects is essentially downtown Las Vegas NFT project. Mm-hmm. What is the point of it? Do you see Vegas as some sort of NFT hub? What's the vision behind it all?
Well, the point of it was, the point of it was really like, so I was able to see kind of like the early like NFT ecosystem in a while for a bit, and I was just like, so I'm originally from Louisiana, so New Orleans, so we're very community based. So like we are just like big on like helping each other. We're big on building each other up. We're big on like just genuinely just unconditionally supporting one another. So it's like, you know, artists would get together and they would make change. Like if artists didn't like something, like if artists really in Vegas really didn't like how rent was spiking in this area, if this was New Orleans, there would be protests in the street. This street would be shut down. So I come from like just like, you know, really just genuinely wanting to see everyone shine and support. So with that project, DTLV NFT. Also like I'm super insane with like naming and branding. Like I love naming, I love branding. Like that's also another part of me that I'm just like, oh, that's a good one. And I just like write that down. And I would like, you know, run with that. But I saw that one as like more of an opportunity to create like a committee, like a real in life committee at first, because just like since Vegas, I've been here since 2018. And since then, I've been able to meet so many people in the arts community. And it's so nice because there are a lot of genuine people here. And there's a lot of great artists in this city that do not get a chance to have their shine. And there's a lot of, and then another thing that I noticed was that, like, in a way, it was kind of, in a way, when I first got here, I was like, yo, like, I want to be part of an art community. And there, like, I was just like looking for info, looking for sources, and looking for something that was consistent. And like, it was, when I first got here, I'm only saying this, I'm literally repeating this because when I first got here, that was not here for me. I had to create it. I made my own illustration, like, crew. Like, we just drew art, we drank coffee, we stayed up all late, and we called ourselves Art Club Las Vegas. And then I took that and then, like, somehow ended up in Downtown Las Vegas Alliance Success and Insights meetups, representing other artists, just being myself. But like, that's the same type of work I did in New Orleans. Like, that's the same thing. Like, in Louisiana, like, independent DIY projects that end up getting hella shine from dedication, and then being recognized as like, oh yeah, this is serious. This isn't like a joke. Like, these are people passionate about what they're doing. This isn't a fucking game for them. Like, let's put them on. Like, let's work with them. And so, like, being able to, like, you know, kind of lead that, I wanted to do the same thing in a sense for, like, okay, there's a disconnect of like lingo and language between like traditional artists who haven't really ventured down the NFT space or crypto space. And I wanted to create a comfortable environment or a comfortable scenario for that to be, for these conversations to be had, and for like genuine intro rookie questions. Like, there's no stupid question. Like, I don't care. Like, there's no stupid question. Like, people play games. There's no stupid question. Like, you genuinely, you don't know, ask. Like, just like figure it out. And so with that, yeah, like, I mix and mingle heavy in a downtown area. So in 2020, October, right whenever we can go outside, we were able to go outside again. It was October. I hosted a conversational piece at Ferguson's. So it was October 2020. It was called the Midnight Creator Society. And on check-in, we took your phone. There was a phone check. You got a pen, you got a notebook, and you got a camera and a little disposable Fujifilm camera. And then, like, so on check-in, like, you're like, okay, so like, you're here, all right, give me your phone. So because we were focusing on art, identity, the future of art, e-commerce, and that was mostly it. It was like art, the future of art, identity, and e-commerce. And because the future of art, I was like, I'm sitting here talking, I'm like, yo, have you heard of NFTs? And they're just like, what? I'm like, yo, let me tell you, because this is changing my life right now. And like, just opening this new door to like have like a market, so it's like, you know, you wouldn't get the sale if you hadn't opened the door. You know what I mean? So like, to me, back in the day when Maker's Place was like, hey, join our thing, I was already big on drop shipping. I was already big on running my own website. And I saw this as just like another, like,
yeah, you're tapped into the creator economy.
It was a storefront, you know? And yeah, it was this, creator economy. And I felt the work that I was doing, like having these like public conversations for people, like at, it was Ferguson's, so it was downtown. So that's where I felt like, you know, I felt comfortable being like, yeah, DTLV NFT, like, this is where we've been. This is where I spawned. I literally spawned at the Downtowner for when I came to Vegas, because there's a little story there, but like, I spawned there, and that's where I got that's where I started. And
this is the downtown and the Arts District. For those that don't know, they're right next to each other. The Arts District is right in between downtown and the Strip, and then you have obviously downtown Vegas, which is attached to Fremont Street. For everyone who comes down here and loves Fremont Street, I do go down there all the time. It's where all the creators are harboring. Everyone is gravitating to these two areas. Uncertain really why. Maybe the Arts District, because there's no gaming, so you don't have any of the gambling degens hanging around and kind of kill the vibe, right? which is quite beautiful. And now we're seeing so many NFT creators popping up in Vegas. Las Vegas NFTs doing a good job. I have the meetups. There's now multiple NFT groups that exist. It's amazing. And it's awesome because we're not centralizing power within one community. We're distributing it. And a lot of the same people exist within multiple communities. But it just speaks to what we're all trying to do here. We're all trying to build each other up, and we don't want centralized power. We want everyone to go off and build their own thing. And that's generally what happens within any sort of organization or business or group. Is once it gets so large, there's either a decision where it becomes a little bit authoritarian-like, or it breaks up a little bit and then people end up doing their own things. And this is kind of what you're doing with downtown. I'm just going to call it downtown NFT, so I don't have to keep saying that. You're now focusing specifically on the area that is the most densely concentrated of NFT creators. And the objective, what it sounds is that you're attempting to just educate those who maybe aren't familiar with NFTs, or they hear about monkey pictures selling for $100,000 or CryptoPunk selling for 20 million, and they just want to be interested in it. Is the approach going to be first digital and then physical, or are you going the physical route first, then digital?
It's digital first. It'll be a digital product first. Like, I want it to be also a resource for people. So like, what I'm really big on, like, so in New Orleans, there was like this NOLA DIY thing. It was a site. You click it and it had like events listed from everybody in the community. You could submit and then like it would be there. And like, that's how I was like, hey, yo, what's popping this weekend? Like, I would just go there to the site and like it had links and like it was dope. There'd be a flyer. You click the link and you would go in further to seeing information about the event and stuff like that, and like links to who submitted everything. And then that's been, stuck in the back of my head. I've always been a fan of just like, information being like accessible. And when I first stumbled in Vegas, like back in the day, it felt very primitive. A lot of the digital presence here was extremely primitive.
Still little. Pretty much is. It's getting better though.
Still a little primitive, yeah. And I was like, yo, we gotta change. I was like, yo, we gotta try something. And then so I just like, I want to I want to be like, okay, well, look, let me put some fire under this and see what happens. Like, let's inspire some people, because I know it's gonna like make people want to be like, you know what, that's cool. I'm gonna do something like that too, or like, you know what, let's fucking try to like stir the pot. Like, that's what I essentially want it to be. So like, if as it will become a decent resource for people. Actually, I checked the email yesterday, and then there was someone that wrote to me. They said, yo, I'm a homeless artist. Can you help me figure out NFTs? I was like, absolutely. Like, yo, because it's like he sent the email. It was like last week. I was like, what? I was like, I almost started crying. I was like, damn, like that's exactly what we want to do. We want to be able to like show people the ropes, like show. It's like, no, you shouldn't feel intimidated to ask for help. You know what I mean? Like, you should never feel that way. You should be able to be like, yo, let me, like, what's up? What's going on here? And so yeah. And also with the domain, can I call myself a domain DJ?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get content.eth.
Can I do that? So I also have DTLV art and DTLV food. So those will be integrated into DTLV NFT, all .coms. So just throwing that out there. So if someone hears this, they're like, what the fuck?
And just speaking on what you're discussing, generalized crypto is pretty intimidating to begin with. You see Bitcoin's at 50,000, and then Ethereum and all these NFTs selling for all these millions of dollars, and then people start talking about DeFi and liquidity pools. And if you're not familiar with anything financial, you're like, what the fuck is this stuff? Like, I have no idea what's happening right now. And so what I've realized is that those who are interested, they kind of reach out to a trusted source, whether it's their favorite podcaster, their favorite YouTuber, their favorite Twitter account to follow, and they'll DM them or reach out and say, hey, is there anything that you would recommend for me to start? And that's kind of how they get their entries. So although crypto is natively digital, mainstream adoption comes through your local communities and engagement in that area.
Yeah, starting from the ground up, Like, I don't know where I saw this information from, but like, oh, if you want to create change, it's like, okay, you start in yourself, and then you start in your community, and then you move to the state, and then the country, and then the world. So I was like, oh, that's been in the back of my head. That's always in the back of my head. It's just like,
I think that idea trickles down to most people who are in the crypto space. And even if you take that philosophy and apply it to the digital space, it's like, okay, I work on my own art, then I work on the artists around me, then I gravitate to the NFT marketplace, then it just like keeps growing and growing, and then all of a sudden you have like 400,000 followers, and you're like, oh, now I'm taking on the end. The final boss is like politics, of course, no matter whether it's macro politics with Bitcoin or programming politics with Ethereum, or even we discussed kind of before this, art politics is something that I'm sure with the vetting process has some ties into traditional hierarchy as well.
I hope that like when I'm 40, 50, I hope that I'm like big into like politics, and I'm also like, I'm strictly with like the art realm. So if I want to be like, I want to be able to show up in a city hall and just start cussing people out because of an artist is being like, rent's going up on somebody's stuff. I want to be like, okay, look, right here. I just want to be like on it like that. Like that's kind of where I see, like, that's my end game. I feel like maybe, probably not. I'm probably gonna end up selling my soul. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
How would you describe art politics? What specifically is that?
So it's very hard for me to like, because to me it doesn't exist. So, and what I mean by that is that like in small scale, so like showing up to like the board meetings, like showing up to board meetings where I'm the only artist in the room, which happened like 2 weeks ago maybe. Like I showed up, I'm the only person in the room. There's the city, senior development, urban, etc., is sitting here with the board, like with one member of the Las Vegas Arts District board and several other business owners. Like they're like business owners. They have like real estate and shit. And like, I'm just an artist. So like I'm representing the art side that's also very familiar with how this looks and how this works, and how like just like, I guess like art centric neighborhoods kind of like grow and develop. Like what's best for the community? What do artists really need? What's not just hot air for them thinking that this is what artists need, but they don't need that. You need to do this instead. That's kind of where I want to like be on the end of. But like they had this meeting. I'm like the only artist there, but what like is discussed is like major things that's like can help offset the cost of like your startup or like your business. And so like they're probably going to talk about it today at Horse Trailer Hideout later. But also if they decide to do that, then that means like, let's see, what's today's date? The 18th. That means like, so it was like March 6th or so, or 7th or so. It means like, it's like a lot of time has passed. And if there was a deadline, and then I'm finding about it like today, and I know that there's a deadline in like 2 days, and I could have found out about it like earlier, I'm going to be super annoyed as an artist, you know? That's what happens. Priscilla Flower Gallery. So I brought Councilwoman Olivia Diaz and Elizabeth Lopez to Priscilla Flowers Gallery because Priscilla and I wanted to talk about how we can preserve the artists in the arts district. And she was worried about being kicked out of her spot. She got priced out of her spot like this March. We talked about this in August. So I see myself like wanting to be involved with like communicating what artists need to people that like are so out of touch that they like want to say, oh, we're here for the community, we understand. But like, no, you really need to hear it from someone that like is in these streets, like out here in these streets, you know?
In these streets. It's honestly a very noble proposition to engage with that, and having some foresight to know that this world we're moving in of automation and digital centricism. Oh my God, that was a tongue twister. That creativity is going to be at the forefront. All of the mundane positions and warehouse workers are already being automated away. So to live in this creator economy, it's only going to grow. YouTube's only going to get bigger. VR is only going to get better. Most people are going to be living most of their lives in either AR, VR, or just plain 2D text of social media. You have to be able to exude creativity, and that's going to be a priority for the future workforce in this new economy that's emerging with crypto being the underlying financial system and NFTs being the assets that kind of govern all of it. It's interesting to follow, but to understand that and to see it takes a lot of experience to understand the dynamics, and also just being very honest that politics aren't going to go away anytime soon. We're all humans. We all live debating. There's always going to be power involved with it. There's always going to be honesty and scammers and lying and everything else that comes with just being human. That's not going to go away, unfortunately, even though we want it to. It's not going to.
Yeah, like the foresight, like being able to see that, it's just so dynamic. I think of it, it's like a cake. It's like all these mixed ingredients that are just like coming together right now, and we're like making this like nice like cake at the end of it. Do you think this area, like I feel that like I've never seen this much development in my life.
it's that they literally just tore down 2 buildings. They just made 3 more parking lots. One of my buddies just got a bid on like about 2 blocks here. Then we have Steven, who's opening up the NFT gallery right next to Todd English's new hotel. And they're going to begin doing packages for tourists. If you're an NFT community, you could stay at the boutique hotel and then use the art gallery for your exhibits. And it has like drinking and event space and all this stuff. It's all coming together. We see Circa just announced they're doing a Vegas Vicky NFT. Resort World's using... Yeah, Theta is now the blockchain of choice for Resort World. They're doing Katy Perry NFTs and all kinds of other stuff. We see Crazy Horse 3, which is one of the largest strip clubs in Vegas, is now accepting Bitcoin for lap dances, and you could tip the servers with Bitcoin now. So it's permeating all throughout Vegas.
Crazy. Yo, I'm sorry. That's so insane. Vegas is going crazy right now. This is
starting. All you need is a first few movers. And so now you have downtown, the Arts District with yourself, Strip Club with Crazy Horse 3, and Resort World on the Strip.
Tech Alley let's talk about Tech Alley, because Tech Alley, I feel, is like, that was the stake in that was the nail in the cross. I feel like that. It's
been growing a lot. It's going very fast. Tech Alley is a large tech entrepreneur and startup meetup that's once a month in the Arts District. It's not just crypto, but crypto's kind of slowly been taking it over. Yeah, because it's kind of what we do.
Yeah, I'm actually speaking tomorrow.
Oh, congrats! Congrats.
I'm going to talk about Project Abracadabra.
Hey, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. We're taking over.
That's crazy.
Leo, tell us, everyone who's made it this far, that's watching or listening, where do they follow you? Where do you want to direct their attention and eyeballs?
So everyone that's listening right now, hi. Or if you're watching or listening, is there? Oh, it's only me right here. Okay. My website, leeaux.com, LEEAUX.com. Mostly TeamKillEveryone, TeamKillEveryone.com. Abracadabra.gallery, abracadabra with the C. I'm really just like, hit the website. I thought about it. I was like, for our Twitter, we have so I have a friend that helps me with social media. He's been working with me since 2018 for a while, and we share permissions on like Twitter accounts. So we just like promote. We just like, we don't get tired. And so there's several, so I don't want to get people lost on that. So just hit the sites.
The websites are the digital storefronts. So how are we doing it? Leah, thank you for coming on, having this conversation, being the first person of the new series. That's just an extension of the Jake Allen podcast, where we get to feature all of the different crypto natives and NFT artists and collectors and creators that exist down here in Las Vegas, in our ever-growing city that's, we all know, is going to be not just the entertainment capital of the world, but the NFT capital of the world.
Totally going to be the NFT capital of the world. And I am honored, honestly. Like, I'm blown away. I really appreciate the time right now.
Yeah.
Like, every chance I get to just talk about cool history, like the background. Like, I feel that the lore of all this is so important. And so it's good that you're bringing the lore into it.
And Vegas has one of the largest city name brands across the world. Everyone knows what Vegas is. Just like New York, LA, London. There's a handful of them. Vegas is up there.
What are you
It's on the pedestal?
What are your plans?
Oh man, that's what we're gonna have to say that because we're gonna save that for another conversation because I will go on for 4 hours about that, and I have stuff that I have planning, but that's still maybe end of the year is when that was. I still need to acquire a little bit more social capital before I feel comfortable launching my own project. But the ideas are already written out.
You have tons of support. Just know
thank you,
that.
thank you. I appreciate that. And for those who are listening and watching, thank you again, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.